As introduced, I'm Larry Hannett. I used to teach history here and now retired. It's really a privilege to be invited to speak before you on this absolutely essential issue. Six days after the breakout of the siege of Gaza, UVic President Kevin Hall issued a public statement. He said he was speaking, and quoting him, on behalf of our university community. He expressed, as he put it, horror at the terrorist attacks on Israel last week and the shocking violence unfolding in Gaza. 15 weeks later, in the midst of Israel's unprecedented massacre in Gaza, UVic students, staff, and faculty have a question for President Hall. It's of critical importance, not just here at UVic. It applies to every academic institution worldwide. In fact, to the whole of humanity's dedication to education, to the academic community, to learning and to knowledge. In other words, to everything that this university claims to uphold and strive to preserve. Let me put this vital question to President Hall into context. In 15 weeks, Israel has systematically destroyed, as mentioned earlier, every university in Gaza. The most recent outrage on January 17th was the calculated demolition of Al-Azhar University. You've probably seen the video that showed the simultaneous explosions that reduced every building in the complex to rubble. Who could not weep at the sight of Israel literally smashing a university into dust? In particular, our outrage here at UVic should be greater because of one of the two UVic mottos. And it is, Yehi Or, Yehi Or, let there be light. And the irony is, these folks might remember it, might know it. The irony is that is Hebrew. The irony is that let there be light. UVic's own motto is happening is exactly as Israel is attempting to snuff out the light in Gaza. Shame! There's worse still in Israel's demolition of Al-Azhar University. The Israeli military had occupied the buildings for 70 days, so there wasn't any Hamas in the basement. During that time, it pilfered 3,000 rare artifacts from the university's museum and trucked those back to Israel, where those thousands of artifacts joined tens of thousands of other Palestinian artifacts that have been seized, stolen by the Zionist state. But the demolition of Al-Azhar University has not been the only attack on post-secondary institutions in Gaza. Israel has bombed, occupied, and laid waste to every university, as mentioned, every university for over 2 million people. Moreover, it has killed 94 university professors. This is the status as of January 20th, and hundreds of university students. Still, this is just a small part of the systematic Israeli military assault on the entire education structure in Gaza. Israel has killed over 4,000 students, over 200 teachers and school administrators, severely damaged over 300 state-run and United Nations schools, decimated libraries, museums, and archives. The government of South Africa has recognized that this calculated destruction of Palestinian learning, education, teachers, and students is part of Israel's genocide in Gaza. Shame! Last week, an American journalist asked the U.S. State Department spokesperson for a response to the calculated demolition of Al-Azhar University. Hearing no more than the usual bureaucratic drivel, the reporter said in disgust, and I quote him, "You have nothing to say about this?" And so we members of the UVic University community ask this of President Hall. Do you have nothing to say about Israel's systematic destruction of every university in Gaza? Shame! Nothing to say about Israel's massacre of thousands of Palestinian students, staff, and faculty? Shame! Nothing to say about this barbaric Israeli attack on knowledge, on culture itself? Shame! President Hall, we are listening, and so far from you, we hear nothing. Shame!